Justin Saidi, Jean Matanga, who head the Ministry of Energy, while Toko Tembo, who was the Deputy Minister of Agriculture, goes to the Ministry of Mining as a full cabinet minister. The First Lady, Madam Professor Gertrude Mutarika, has launched My Clean School, My Pride campaign in Palombe, calling on all Malawians to support the initiative. Speaking during the launch, Madam Mutarika said while public primary and secondary schools will compete for prizes, the campaign ultimately aims to instill a lasting culture of hygiene and sanitation across the country. Jeffrey Chinawa has filed this report.
According to the First Lady, the campaign aims to turn students into ambassadors of hygiene. Madam Mutarika said the goal is to make public schools beautiful with clean, working sanitary facilities and eventually create homes and a nation free from sanitation-related diseases. The First Lady unpacked that the campaign will, among others, include a competition. Schools will compete for prizes starting at the constituency level, then moving up to the district level, and finally to the national level. During the event, the First Lady, Madam Professor Gertrude Mutarika, made a symbolic handover of cleaning materials to several schools. Speaking earlier, the board chairperson from Lakowa Lomwe, which is one of the BEAM's partner organizations, Muchana Kwaye Mpuruka, pledged full support for the First Lady's mission. The campaign aligns with President Professor Arthur Peter Mutarika's Executive Order No. 2 of 2026, which mandates sanitation and hygiene in all public places, workplaces, and schools. Other notable officials who graced the launch include the spouse to the second Vice President of the country, Tadala Chihana, Minister of Education, Bright Nsaka, the Minister of Health and Sanitation, Madaliso Waloi, the Minister of Gender, Mary Navicha, and the Minister of Natural Resources, Patricia Whiskes. Jeffrey Shinawa, MBC News, Palombe.
Partners in Health has described non-communicable diseases as a major public health concern in Malawi, saying there is a need for collective efforts to strengthen management and treatment services across the country. The remarks were made during a training session for health workers in Lilongwe on the management of non-communicable diseases, organized with support from Sanofi, pharmaceutical company of South Africa. Wanangwa Mvalo has filed this report, read by Trust Office.
The training brought together health workers from different health facilities with the aim of equipping them with skills to effectively manage diseases such as diabetes, hypertension, cancer, epilepsy, and asthma, among others. Speaking during the training, Partners in Health in National NCD Programs Manager Felix Magwira said the initiative will help improve health service delivery and strengthen the capacity of health workers in dealing with the growing burden of non-communicable diseases in the country.
These trainings that we are conducting, we have supported more than 400 clinicians and nurses working in the facilities of Lilongwe DHO. Basically to equip them with knowledge as well as the skills so that they should be able to create awareness on the NCDs. They should they should facilitate the diagnosis of the NCDs, the actual treatments for NCDs and all other support.
Lilongwe District Health Office NCD Coordinator Isaac Mwenda urged participants to follow proper standards in the management of non-communicable diseases to ensure quality healthcare services.
As you know, as of now, we have got a lot of people who are suffering from NCDs, non-communicable diseases, and for police, because previously they were not handling them the way we were expecting, so they have been referred to either Central Hospital or Boyle Hospital, which are also congested hospitals. So most of the patients, maybe they were opting to go to other centers, maybe which were not maybe trained, or maybe they were not even seeking any health services. So it's like now we reduce the burden to the patients because all patients will be handled here in NCDs, and only those who are complicated, they will be referred to any center.
Officer in charge for Police Headquarters Clinic, Mulinsoma, says the training was timely, adding it will help improve service delivery whilst reducing treatment costs.
This training on non-communicable diseases has come timely, especially considering that as Malawi Police Service, non-communicable diseases is the leading cause of mortality. It is also a leading cause of absenteeism from duties and also early retirement among its police officers. So building the capacity of healthcare workers from the Malawi Police Service is a very important intervention, because apart from timely diagnosis of the cases, it will also help us in terms of prevention of the cases and also reduce the cost of patients who access the care.
Health authorities emphasized that strengthening the capacity of frontline health workers remains key in the fight against non-communicable diseases, which continue to affect thousands of people across Malawi.
Government says positive reputation and trust are key ingredients in the attainment of Malawi 2063. Speaking in Blantyre during a high-level public and private sector interface organized by the Public Relations Society of Malawi PRISM, Principal Secretary responsible for administration in the Office of the President and Cabinet, Rashidi Nterera, said positive narratives can attract investors. Temba Mwale with a report.
Ntelela observed that positive narratives create positive perception about Malawi, thereby attracting partners and investors, which are key in the attainment of the Malawi 2063 vision. He therefore called on players in the communication sector, including public relations personnel, to spread positive narratives about Malawi.
It's about where we want our country to be, at that point. So if we don't have trust, which cannot, build our institutions, which cannot make it amongst ourselves as a people to be saying we are Malawians and we can do this, if we can't have that, if we can't have the confidence because we don't trust each other, we have failed to build the institutions, the national institutions which help to make Malawi to be what it is, how can we be reaching that 2063 as a development agenda where we want to be? We can't.
President of the Public Relations Society of Malawi, Rachel Muhango, said the aim of the interface was to enlighten decision makers on the benefits of attaching importance to the roles of communication.
Not because communication is our profession, but because we understand that if the leadership of organizations do not understand and value communication, then we'll be talking, we'll be in institutions without adding value, without achieving the results and the objectives of each and every organization. So we thought of bringing leaders, CEOs, directors from various institutions, and we are very grateful for those that responded to our call to have this communication conversation with an understanding and the message that we are sending, that public relations communication is not just a supportive role, but it's a strategic function.
And in his remarks, one of the participants and the keynote speaker, who is also the Commissioner General of the Malawi Revenue Authority, Felix Tambulasi, urged institutions and organizations to give public relations and communication tasks priority as they drive organizational success.
It is important that MRI should be, part and parcel of this interface because we believe in communication. We believe that communication is everything. In MRI, for example, we put communication at the core of business. There's always trust with communication. You cannot separate the two. When you communicate to people, in timely, you also build trust, and therefore you build your brand.
The interface, held under the theme The Return on Investment of Reputation and Trust, brought together chief executive officers and their representatives from 19 institutions. Temba Mwale, MPC News, Blantyre.
Government says Malawi has significant potential in the digital economy to drive national development, provided more effort is directed towards local innovation, skills development, and youth empowerment. Minister of Information and Communications Technology, Shadrack Namalomba, made the remarks in Blantyre during a talk series hosted under the University Innovation Pod, Unipod. Kisomo Break reports.
Across Malawi, young people are actively engaged in digital content creation and are continuously refining their growth strategies. However, research shows that Malawian innovators are not yet fully benefiting from their content compared to their counterparts in countries such as South Africa and Nigeria. In response, the Unipod Talk series has brought together stakeholders in youth empowerment and innovation to share insights and shape the future of Malawi's digital content creation landscape. The ICT Minister, Shadrack Namalomba, said the government is working hard to create an environment where creatives can thrive and earn from their talent right here in Malawi.
We also would like to encourage local creators to create our own solutions to monetize. I'm a believer of local solutions, and I believe that we can have, just as what Meta has, we can have it here. We can create our own Netflix here. We can create our own YouTubes here. We can create our own WhatsApp applications here. In so doing, then we'll be earning in Malai Kwacha. Why do we have to wait to earn the dollars when we have Malai Kwachas that we can earn right now? Then, once Meta comes on board, then we can begin to earn the dollars. But what is important right now? Let's begin to earn the Malai Kwachas that are already, the market is already there, and let's develop the solutions for that.
MUBA's Vice Chancellor Nancy Chitera noted that the talk series is more than a discussion. It is a platform for inspiration, collaboration, and opportunity creation for young people within the innovation ecosystem.
We invite regulators, we invite entrepreneurs, we invite different kinds of individuals that come and utilize this space. The main agenda or the main objective is that the upcoming innovators and content creators, they should be able to interact with these entrepreneurs so that they can learn one or two things as they move on this particular journey of innovation.
Deputy UNDP resident representative to Malawi, Chika Enyekwe, emphasized the need for stronger partnerships with the corporate sector to finance creative, noting that Malawi has untapped potential in content creation.
People is to partner together and show institutions like the Standard Bank, the MBS, Airtel, TNM, how supporting the creative can help them to generate more income. And I think it's already there, it's out there. I give an example. If we have 50,000 Malawians earning $100 a month, it equals to $5 million a month. Where do you think that $5 million are going to be? It's going to be one of Malawian banks. That is an example of how you can be creative to show the private sector, the financial institution, the opportunities that they will reap in supporting the creative.
With coordinated support from the government, academia, and the private sector, digital creators are poised to start benefiting directly from their work. Chisomo Break, MBC News, Blantyre.
And this is MBC News, a reminder of our top stories. President Mutharika splits the Ministry of Energy and Mining with immediate effect. Government describes Malawi's potential in the digital economy as crucial for national development. And in sport, Masters FC have a chance to extend their lead at the top of the FDH Bank Premiership when they face Ekaya at Imperial Stadium in Blantyre this afternoon. Now, Karonga district is projected to produce 51,360 metric tons of rice during the 2025-2026 farming season, well, that's representing a 12% increase from last season's output of over 46,000 metric tons. The district's Director of Agricultural Services, Yazi Nyirenda, attributed the projected increase to favorable rainfall, availability of farm inputs such as fertilizer, and improved agricultural extension services. George Nkatawire reports.
According to Nyirenda, this year the district has produced more lice than last year's harvest, but he was quick to mention that in some EPAs, lice did not perform well due to various challenges like diseases and pests.
We have received a lot of rains. There have been a number of rainy days in Karonga district, which has necessitated the production to increase. You know, rice requires a lot of water. So with the heavy rains and with a lot of rainy days, we've managed to be up by 12% production from last year's harvest.
He has since urged ADMAG to start buying lice from farmers in time before vendors exploit them by buying the produce at lower prices.
Farmers may say they don't have market. It's because the market which is over there, they exploit them. They come with the buckets which are very big to our normal 20 liters. Then just because the farmer is desperate to get something, the farmer will just say yes. Maybe from our policy makers, it's good that ADMAC is given enough monies and in good time. But currently, some of the vendors even buy the product or the rice is not mature. The rice is not harvested, but you find that several products have been bought by these vendors.
One of the farmers at Hala, Magdwaf Viarema Ngwira, said despite receiving normal to above normal rainfall this season, lice diseases such as BRAPS affected crops and reduced expected yields. Another farmer, Ken Ngoma, expressed optimism over this year's harvest, describing it as promising. Novice Kayange, also a farmer in the district, said although farmers are happy with the harvest, they are uncertain about where to sell their produce. Karonga is widely known for producing Krombero lice, a popular variety known for its aroma and taste. George Nkandawire, MBC, Karonga.
Minister of Transport and Public Works, Japi Muhango, has asked contractors working on the Mzuzu Airport runway construction project to finish the job in the next 8 weeks. Muhango said currently the weather and fuel challenges which the contractor was facing have been dealt with. Hassan Piri reports.
Mzuzu Airport has been going on a number of renovations to improve aviation services at the facility by, among others, improving the runway, construction of the fence, improving the departure and arrival terminals, among others. The Minister of Transport and Public Works, Japi Muhango, decided to visit the facility to see for himself the progress being made on the ground. The minister expressed satisfaction. However, he urged Hema Construction to fast-track the process, saying the people from Mzuzu deserve better aviation services so that they have a variety of traveling choices once the airport is completed.
We want to have our first flight in Mzuzu, like I said, in 12 weeks. And 12 weeks, before us to get 12 weeks, we now have 8 weeks left. I hope very much that the contractor, supported by the engineer on site and the institution, will do their utmost to make sure that that is delivered. Well, we are expanding the runway for obvious reasons. During the test flight, it was observed that the runway was not wide enough to accommodate the wingspans of the plane. So that's why we are expanding this runway to in line with that recommendation.
In his remarks, Engineer Sunganani Zinkambani expressed his gratitude that the minister has intervened on the fuel challenges and promised to deliver the airport for use by June.
We started these works some 6 weeks ago with the aim to be ready at least by mid-June. We have, however, faced some weather disruptions as well as some prevailing logistical challenges when it comes to fuel availability. But we will catch up We have made some measures through the support as well from the ministry and the minister himself. We should have some of the logistical challenges kept.
Minister of Transport Japi Muhango made a surprise visit to this facility to appreciate the work being done on the ground. Government started the construction work of this facility to widen the landing threshold of this facility so that it widens it from 18 meters to 30 meters with the aim to accommodate bigger aircrafts to be landing at this facility without much problems. Hassan Piri, MBC News, Mzuzu.
The Civil Society Network on Climate Change, CISONEC, has called for increased awareness and stronger collaboration in promoting access to clean energy resources across the country. CISONET National Coordinator Julius Ngoma made the remarks in Salima during a panel discussion aimed at amplifying community voices on access to clean energy. During the discussions, many community members expressed concern over the unavailability of clean energy resources, low electricity supply, and delayed power connections, challenges they say continue to affect their daily lives.
After, making sure that there's that awareness, we also need to be able to create platforms between the people that now have the information and they know what is at stake with those that can, support to make certain decisions so that we can now drive that process of transitioning or transformation to clean and renewable energy. So we create those platforms between the communities and also the policy makers, decision makers at the district council level. For instance, if there are issues in a particular district, let's say Salima, regarding access to clean and renewable energy, if the communities are raising issues that are talking about, let's say, challenges regarding maybe affordability of renewable or clean energy technologies, we have to be able to create the platform for dialogue between the communities and the decision makers at the council level, but also even at the national level.
Meanwhile, Salima District Environmental Officer Neva Mlungu said the council is intensifying the promotion of energy-efficient cook stoves that use less firewood as one way of conserving the environment. Mlungu added that the council is also working closely with electricity supply stakeholders to improve reliable power access in the district.
As the Salima District Council, we are intensifying in the community sensitization, mainly on the advantages of using the clean energy. So mostly we are intensifying in the use of the clean sufficient stoves where they use firewood. And again, we are also encouraging the community to use those changu. There is a limit to clean energy, but still we are working with the other organizations like ESCOM, CISONEC, that are helping us to bring these interventions close to the communities so that they can be able to access to the clean energy.
And in sport, Masters FC have a chance to extend their lead at the top of the FDH Premiership this afternoon when they face Ekaya FC at Imperial Stadium in Blantyre. The league leaders sit on 12 points from 5 matches, 2 points ahead of second-placed Silver Strikers. Silver will be looking to keep the pressure on Masters when they host MAFCO at Silver Stadium in Lilongwe. Elsewhere, 4th-placed Blue Eagles, who are level on 10 points with the 3rd-placed team, Mighty Wanderers, travel to Obredimba Stadium in Mchinji to take on relegation-threatened Craig Sporting, currently 15th on the table. At Dedza Stadium, newly promoted Luana Mitundu FC, who occupy 14th position, will battle 8th-placed Civil Service United. Well, that item concludes this edition of MBC News. A reminder of our top stories before we leave. President Mutharika splits the Ministry of Energy and Mining with immediate effect. Government describes Malawi's potential in the digital economy as crucial for national development. And in sport, Masters FC have a chance to extend their lead at the top of the FDH Bank Premiership when they face Ekaya at Imperial Stadium in Blantyre this afternoon. Well, keep up to date with our news by scanning the QR code at the top right corner of your TV screen. You were with me, Mzuzu. Thanks for watching and good afternoon.
Sabara ino mu program ya Woman Talk. Pamene banja lagwirizana akalima nthawi yokolola zimapezeka kuti kamwamuna kaya mkazi kukagulisa zokolola zija nzake osadziwa. Kodi azimayi zikuchitika? Koma muona nzima yakuti